Today, we're diving into one of the most pressing questions in education. So, let's jump right in.
For any teacher out there, you know AI isn't just another app or a new tool. Nope, it's a seismic shift that makes us ask a really fundamental question. In a classroom that's packed with AI, what is a teacher's actual job anymore?
And right at the center of this debate is a really big choice. You've kind of got two camps. On one side, you have the teacher as a practitioner, someone who masters AI, who gets deep in the weeds so they can lead from the front. And on the other side, you have the cultivator, the teacher who focuses on the art of learning itself, guiding students even if they're figuring out the tech right alongside them.
All right, so let's dig into that first idea, the practitioner model. The thinking here is pretty straightforward, but it's also really compelling.
It all boils down to a classic saying, you just can't teach what you don't know. The whole idea here is about credibility. I mean, if you're going to guide students through the maze of AI, you have to have walked through some of it yourself, right? It's about actually modeling the skills you expect your students to learn.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Picture this. You're in class and a student puts their hand up and says, ChatGPT says you're wrong. Now, a teacher who knows their stuff can turn that into an amazing teaching moment about critical thinking and source evaluation, but a teacher who's unprepared, they could lose the respect of the entire class in a heartbeat. The stakes are really that high.
This whole idea leads us to a fascinating concept in education called the hidden curriculum. It's all the stuff that's not written down in the lesson plan. It's the values and attitudes students pick up just by watching you. So if you, as the teacher, model how to use AI thoughtfully and ethically, your students will absorb that lesson way more deeply than if you just gave them a lecture on it.
Okay, but that's just one side of the argument. There's a totally different way to look at this. Let's flip over to the teacher as a cultivator and see what that's all about.
In this view, the teacher's superpower isn't being an AI genius. It's being a genius at teaching. It's that classic shift from being the sage on the stage who has all the answers to being the guide on the side who asks all the right questions. The job becomes about designing incredible learning journeys for students.
And what's really cool about this is it reframes the teacher as a lead learner. By being open about learning this new tech alongside their students, they model something that is absolutely critical for the future: how to be curious, how to adapt, and basically how to learn for the rest of your life.
So, which one is it? Do you have to be the expert practitioner or the guiding cultivator? It really feels like you have to pick a side, but what if that's the wrong way to think about it entirely? What if it's a false dilemma?
Well, it turns out the research is pointing in a very clear direction. This is not an either-or debate. The best, most effective approach is a hybrid. But here's the real kicker, it's not just a 50-50 mix. It's more of a sequence. You have to become a competent practitioner so that you can be an effective cultivator. The first role is the foundation for the second.
And we've got the data to back this up. A huge meta-analysis from 2025 showed that AI has a big positive impact on overall learning. That's that first tall bar you see. But, and this is a big but, look at the second bar. The impact on higher order thinking skills, the deep, critical stuff, it's only about half as strong. So what does that tell us? AI is great at boosting knowledge, but you still need a skilled teacher to push students toward real, deep thinking.
Because without that teacher's guidance, you run into some serious risks. One of the biggest is something called metacognitive laziness. It's basically when students let the AI do all the heavy lifting, cognitively speaking. Think of it like always taking the elevator instead of the stairs. Sure, it's easier, but if you do it all the time, your muscles get weak. The same thing can happen to our critical thinking skills, and that is exactly why a teacher's role here is so non-negotiable.
Okay, so if we know the answer is this hybrid model, the next obvious question is, how do we actually do it? How do teachers get there? This is where we move from theory into a really practical plan. A great way to visualize this journey is as a three-step ladder. It's a path that starts at a baseline level, just being aware of AI. Then you move up to being proficient, where you're actively integrating it. And finally, you can reach an advanced level, where you're not just using AI, you're a true innovator with it.
So let's break that down real quick. At the baseline, you're covering the essentials. You're setting clear rules for AI use, and you're teaching students to have a healthy skepticism about what it spits out. Then, when you're proficient, you're getting creative. You're building assignments that force students to use AI and their brains. And at that advanced level, you're a leader. You're creating whole new ways of teaching with AI, and you're helping your colleagues level up too.
And I want to be really clear. This isn't just some nice theory we cooked up.
This hybrid, laddered approach, it's already being put into practice and it's working, all around the globe. I mean, just look at Singapore. They now require foundational AI knowledge for every single teacher, period. Or check out the UAE, where their massive AFAC program is getting the entire teaching workforce ready for an AI-powered curriculum. And it's not just for kids. At the university level, Ohio State now makes AI fluency a requirement to graduate, and they're backing it up with serious training for their faculty. The pattern here is unmistakable.
So, when you zoom out and look at the big picture, what's the ultimate takeaway? It's that a teacher's role was never about trying to be smarter or faster than a machine. It's about modeling all the things a machine can't do, showing what real curiosity looks like, making ethical choices, and connecting with students on a human level.
And that leaves us with one final crucial thought to take with you. There's no doubt that AI is getting scary good at giving us answers. The real question for all of us in education is, are we getting any better at asking the right questions?